Introduction.
That bill is set down for first reading. The House comes to question for oral answers, and question number 1 is in the name of the Right Honourable Winston Peters.
Mr Speaker, this question is to the Prime Minister and asks, why did he say last week in relation to SkyCity, and I quote him, its architects designed such a thing, realised they needed more land, worked out who owned the land and approached Television New Zealand, end of quotes.
Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr Speaker, because I believed it to be true at the time.
Supplementary question, Right Honourable Winston Peters.
Well, if the Prime Minister believed it to be true at the time, and this is his third apology that he's given to New Zealand First on matters in the House, who advised him that Television New Zealand had been approached by SkyCity?
Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr Speaker, I was aware at a press conference I went to when we launched the successful conclusion of the expression of interest process of the architect's drawings, which clearly showed the proposed convention centre to be built on the land owned by Television New Zealand. I made a pretty fair assumption that that had been the case.
Supplementary question, Right Honourable Winston Peters.
Prime Minister, is it not correct that his staff had a meeting with Ministry of Economic Development officials on 9 November 2010, 2 months after SkyCity first signalled their interest in the TVNZ land? And if so, how can we be expected to believe that the subject of the TVNZ land was not raised?
Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr Speaker, I have no record of what happened at that meeting. I can please go and have a look at it, but I don't have it. But I will make the point that the member made some pretty strong assertions last week in the House, which have actually been proven to be incorrect. He said that there was a secret side deal. Well, what we now know is there was actually no deal. Secondly, there was no approach. And thirdly, I was not involved in the process.
Supplementary question, Right Honourable Winston Peters.
Does the Prime Minister expect us to believe that he goes to meetings where the taxpayer is funding the meeting in the first place, and his attendance and that of his staff, and no one keeps a record during the meeting, and no one records what happened after the meeting, or for that matter, no one prepared any notes about what the meeting was being held for in the first place?
What?
Tell us about what?
Order.
This is not about ACC, no.
Order. Could the Right Honourable Winston Peters complete his supplementary question?
Well, I'm trying to, sir, but what I'm asking, is the Prime Minister expecting New Zealanders to believe that he goes to a meeting and there's no preparatory notes as to why he's going? When the meeting occurs, no one takes any notes at all, not even the other side, which he could consult with later on, or when the meeting's over, no record is kept of what happened at the meeting in the first place when the taxpayer is funding that meeting?
Right Honourable John Key.
Mr Speaker, in certain instances, yes.
That's bulldozer. Supplementary question.
Supplementary question, Right Honourable Winston Peters.
How can he expect the House to believe that he and his staff never discussed the TVNZ land with SkyCity or Ministry of Economic Development officials when the Auditor-General says the Ministry of Economic Development began doing preparatory work for the sale as early as 2010, including Treaty of Waitangi clearance?
Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr Speaker, because it is correct, as Television New Zealand have pointed out, they actually haven't had an approach from SkyCity. What I was aware of was what I said earlier. I went to a press conference on Sunday afternoon with the Mayor of Auckland, Len Brown. At that press conference was presented the drawings from the architect. What was presented was that they would be required more land. The place where it was going to be built was quite clear. It was Television New Zealand's land. Yes, I made an assumption, but I would have thought a pretty sound one.
Question number 2, David Shearer.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. To the Prime Minister, does he stand